I'm hoping that you see this video before Hurricane Florence hits the East Coast. This is quite the emergency. North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia are under a state of emergency. North Carolina, along the coast, there is a mandatory evacuation. Please watch your local news. They will tell you exactly what you need to do, where you need to go, because every little area could be different. Hurricane Florence is a Category 4. That's huge. It's 130 miles per hour at this time. It probably will hit 150. One of the sites I like to look at to keep an eye on the spaghetti noodles showing you the track of these hurricanes is myfoxhurricane.com. That's what I use. There's even a little chat box there, so if you want to ask questions, you can type, and somebody who might know more than somebody else, because these people are really into weather and they go to different websites and then they tell you more information. So it might make you a little more comfortable knowing that you're prepared or that you're doing the right thing. Forecasters are predicting this to be a $27 billion catastrophe. So that's a large amount of damage. And most damage, besides the wind, is from water, and that's also what causes death. So please evacuate. If you're told to get out, please get out, and do it sooner than later, because you don't want to be stuck on the roads with that rain. You know how it is when it pours really, really hard and you can't see, and then there's accidents, and then you're stuck on this highway, maybe with kids and dogs. It's not pretty. So evacuate ahead of time if that's what you have to do. If you're staying in place, make sure you have plenty of everything that you need. If you need medication, make sure you get it, talk to your doctor. If it's not time to renew, see if you can get that, because some medications are life-saving type of medications that you need to have on hand. If you're going to be without power and your medication needs to be refrigerated, I'm hoping that you already know what to do. Everybody, make sure you have plenty of water, because it's a good chance water can, not be good to use, or there's not electricity. So depending where you are, I'm not sure what your temperature is. We're in Tampa Bay area, so it's still very warm here. Hopefully it's a little cooler up in the Carolinas, so if power goes out, it won't be so bad as far as the heat. But don't go near the ocean when the storm's coming in. People decide to go surfing and things like that. It's just not safe. Just be safe, do what you gotta do. Of course, water, food, always have these things at home, even if there's not a hurricane, because emergencies happen when you least expect them. This, of course, they're giving you some time to go get it, and I'm sure the stores are packed. Comment below and let me know if you're in these areas and what it's like right now. I know here in Florida, before a big storm, hurricane, everybody's standing in line getting gas, buying board for the windows, gasoline. So make sure you fill up that gas tank today. If you have extra tanks and you got a shutout back, have a little extra gas if you can. A lot of you are in apartments, so make sure you ask your management, where are you supposed to go? Maybe the building itself has a place for you to be. Maybe you want to get some tarp for your windows. If you can't get some wood to cover your windows, stay inside an inner room, a bathroom, away from windows, because we were in a tropical storm. It wasn't even a hurricane, and I swear our windows, I thought they were going to bust. We had just moved to Florida at that time, and the windows were just like that, and I thought, oh my God. I had the kids in the closet with their helmets, or bicycle helmets on. It was scary, and that wasn't even a hurricane. I'm not trying to scare anybody. I just want you to be prepared, because if you're prepared, you won't be afraid. After that tropical storm, yes, we did get boards for our windows, because when we bought our house, it did not come with hurricane shutters. We did not have hurricane windows. If we would have stayed in that house, I would have put hurricane windows in that house along with shutters, because that scared me. But I wasn't so scared once we had the wood shutters to put up on the windows. So the other thing you probably definitely want to do is have a car charger for your phone. So if power goes out, maybe you could start your car, charge your phone. Many of us have phone numbers of our family and friends in our phone, and we don't have it up here in our heads anymore because people are always changing their phone numbers, and we don't have to remember those numbers. So write them down on a piece of paper. Also have a phone number of somebody out of state in case lines are just down. Sometimes you're able to reach people outside of your state where the emergency is. And often texting will work when the phone does not, so kind of keep that in mind. Have an emergency radio. I would prefer to get a crank one. We don't have a crank one at this time. I just have an old radio, a shortwave radio with the emergency channel, and so I listen to that so you know what's going on in your area. Of course, if you still have electricity, you can watch TV, but if you don't, that's when you need the radio because you're not going to know what's happening. The other thing that I like to do before a big storm, fill up all my pots and pans, bathtub. I have one of those water bobs, the big plastic container that you could fill up so it stays, sterile. Also, we had a rain barrel on our gutters on our home that we had before, so that's a nice thing to have. But we're talking about Thursday, I think, when this Hurricane Florence is going to hit, so you don't have a lot of time. Today's Monday as I'm recording this, but for future, kind of keep that in mind for next time. And I know there's people judging people who live along the coast. They're like, well, you shouldn't live along the coast, or live in Florida, or I can't live in Florida because of hurricanes. Listen, hurricanes can happen anywhere along the East Coast, anywhere in Florida, anywhere along the Gulf Coast, and these hurricanes can come up the Gulf Coast, go all the way up to Ohio, and cause flooding everywhere. So Mother Nature doesn't just choose the coastlines. Mother Nature is everywhere. There's fires out west, there's flooding everywhere out west, east, and north. You got nor'easters, you have hurricanes, hail, you have polar vortexes, you've got blizzards. I mean, it doesn't matter where you are. You should be prepared for whatever comes your way and live your life. You can't be in fear of every little thing that can happen. I'm not affiliated with My Fox Hurricane, but what I like about that site is you could talk to people. There's a lot of people chatting in that little box that's on that page, and you could ask questions and they will know what's going on in your area. They're really smart people, and it just makes you feel better because you can tell them exactly where you are, and they'll tell you exactly where that storm is. And remember, hurricanes have these very strong winds right at the eye. In the center, it's very calm. So when a hurricane passes over, it may slow down and you're like, oh, it's passed, and you walk outside, the strongest part of the storm could hit, and you don't want to be outside for that. I know you don't have a lot of time this time, but I do recommend that people have some dried foods. MREs don't last as long as canned dried food, because that can last like 30 to 50 years. So it's kind of nice just to have a can of pinto beans, rice, dried eggs, dried milk, whatever it is that you like. It just, I think, makes you sleep a little better knowing that you have it on hand. And have your radio, make sure you have your flashlights, make sure you have those muck boots, those wading boots, rubber boots, because it floods outside and you want to go out there. You don't want to go out in your tennis shoes, so make sure you have those water boots, and that also will help prevent you from being bitten by a snake or whatever is out there. Now, if the weather is hot, you're going to want some things to keep you cool. They have those cooling scarves, bandanas, towels that can cool you off a little bit, or those little jello mats. I have one for Cookie so he can lie down on it. It doesn't need to be refrigerated or anything. It just stays cool, so when he moves, it cools off. Our son even sleeps with one, and it keeps his head cool at night. So we do like those kind of things. We also like those battery-operated fans that has a mister in it. You squeeze and the water comes out of this fan, because if it gets hot and humid and there's no electricity, you want a fan. And if you have a house, I hope you have a generator. Generators do come in handy to at least run fans. Maybe you can run the refrigerator or the freezer to keep your ice in there. Do not put your generator in the house or in the garage. It will kill you. It has killed people. That happened last year. We saw it on the news. Don't do that. Keep it outside. Garage doors, they usually blow in, so if you have a garage door that's not hurricane rated, just know that's where often the winds blow in. They blow into the garage and then through the house and then blow the roof off. So stay away from the garage. I'm trying to think what else I can tell you. I hope you look at Red Cross. If you don't know where to go and you need to evacuate or you don't have money, find out where there's shelters. If you do have money where you can get a hotel, reserve those rooms like tonight, because they will be sold out if they're not already inland. Or if you have family or friends that you could stay with, just get away from the coast. I don't like the storm. It's big. Again, I don't want to scare you, and I don't think you should be scared. I think you need to have a plan and be prepared. If you're in a flooded area, and even if you aren't, it's not a bad idea to have those sandbags. If they're out, you could always get, I don't know, soil, dig up soil from your backyard. You could buy cheap soil at the store. It's a good idea if you had experience with flooding before, if you could somehow get it around your house to help slow down the water from getting in. Yeah, you may want to lift some of your expensive things off the ground, up high up on the table if you can, if you know that your house is going to get flooded. If you know it's going to get flooded, there's a good chance you're going to be evacuating, so take important paperwork, documents, insurance documents. Make sure you have your IDs, passports, credit cards, lots of cash, because if the ATMs go down for a while, you might not be able to get cash, and maybe that's the only thing you can use. So take anything that is important to you, maybe photos, pictures, whatever you can fit in your car, vehicles, if you're evacuating. But I know here in Florida last year, I was told that many people down in the Keys could not get back down there. Some people didn't have their IDs, they forgot them or something like that, and you need to have your IDs to get your stuff and get out, or whatever it is that's happening. Make sure that you have all the paperwork that you need. Birth certificates, marriage certificates, those type of things. Kids' immunization cards, hospital records if you have health issues. We personally have a little box, a little file with a handle, and I have all our paperwork in there, so if there's an evacuation, I grab it and we can go. And also, everybody please have a bug out bag. I know that sounds weird, but it's a backpack where you put what you need in there, like emergency stuff, your medications, toothpaste, toothbrush, at least throw a couple bottles of water, some cereal bars, whatever you can fit in there, change of clothes or two, of course your cash and ID and things like that. Hold on to that bag for dear life, because that's like your life right there. If you were to lose your home or whatever and you can't get back home for a while, you need to live out of that bag. So make sure you put whatever you think that you might need, and that every family has a backpack. And make sure that it's a backpack, because if your car breaks down, you're going to have to put that backpack on your back. So make sure everybody in the family has one, even the younger kids should have a little backpack. Of course, not too heavy where they can't carry it, but to put their things in there, and so everybody can carry it if you have to evacuate and leave your car behind, or you're stuck on the highway because there's an accident, you're run out of gas, or whatever. Things happen. I'd like to be over prepared. Better safe than sorry is my motto. Don't forget, if you have babies, have extra diapers, wipes. Those wipes, I still carry wipes even after the kids have grown, because they come in handy. We're always using them, so we always have that in the car. I know many of you maybe breastfeed and you don't have formula. I would have formula on hand if for some reason you got separated and the baby has to go with dad or somebody, and you have to go to help somebody else. And it doesn't hurt to have a backup. I know some of you may be against that, but I think having a backup. You don't have to use it, but it's there in an emergency. And of course, if you have dogs, have plenty of food, their little bowls, water, their collar, chain. Make sure they've got their updated vaccine, the rabies vaccination, and any medical records, because a lot of shelters won't let you have a dog, but some will, only if you have the dog inside, crated, and you have the vaccination records with you. Don't forget to turn off the power to your house, gas, electricity, whatever, before that storm hits. Don't forget to bring in all your chairs, any loose furniture that you have in front of your house, behind your house. If you have toys, kid pools, whatever you have out there, make sure those things will go flying. They'll go flying into your house, somebody else's house. They're projectiles. If you have trees around your house that could fall on your house, many experts will tell you to cut them down, cut branches down that look like they might be loose, because that can fall on your roof, and that's a big problem, or in your car. Some of the other things I like to have at home are paper plates, paper towels, plastic forks, knives, those type of things, because if the power goes out, you can't wash dishes and you're stuck at home and you have to eat. It's easier if you have all that. Plus, make sure you have lots of garbage bags. Have bleach. Bleach, you can disinfect water if you have to. You know what I like that we have too is our camping stove, or Coleman stove with little propane tanks. So if the power goes out, we could boil water, we can make a cup of coffee, heat up some soup, or whatever, some food, make some scrambled eggs. To have anything that you'd use for camping is good for this type of thing. For those of you who don't know, hurricane season is from June 1st to November 30th. So keep an eye on the Atlantic, keep an eye on all of that. And it doesn't matter if you're on the coast or not, because like I said, these storms can come in and go all the way inland to the Midwest and drop a bunch of rain. It depends on which way it's going to go once it lands. Of course, the winds usually slow down, but it's the rains. And they did say that this storm, this hurricane, may stay over the North Carolina area. And they really don't know if it's going to be North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia. It's so big, it might cover all of it, most likely. But they said it's going to stay over there for about 24 hours. That's a lot of rain. So please, watch the news. Be prepared. Don't wait. Go tonight. As soon as you're done with this video, go to the store. Stock up. I know Lowe's and Home Depot are probably pretty crowded. Check Ace Hardware and those smaller stores. Sometimes they're not as crowded, but it's probably going to be crowded everywhere. I would love to hear how it is in your area, so comment below and let us know. Let us know that you're safe. Let us know afterwards that you're okay, because I do worry about everybody, because I have a lot of people that watch this channel, and you've become my friends over the years, and I do care. So please be safe, and we'll see you in the next video.